Just waiting to see if anybody might show up. So you guys can hear me. So you guys can hear me. Okay. Max Steel 24. Hi. How are you? Where are you from? I'm doing good. Where are you watching me from? Yeah, I am too. Like what part? I'm in West Virginia. That's pretty cool. Teresa Charles, hi. Nice to meet you. Y'all ready to find out what they're not saying? Isaac, nice to meet you. My name's Laura. MK11, hi, nice to meet you. Kansas, that's pretty cool. Well, I said I wanted to reach the world. It looks like I am. Okay, guys. Let's get into this and see if we can find out what they're not saying. What are they not saying to the collective? What are they not saying to the collective? Hey, Dad. West Virginia. The wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. Back in the boondocks. I love it back here. My stepdad. BC, nice to meet you. Australia, oh yeah. Hi, Max. How do you say that? Dubay? Dubay. I bet it's Dubay. Hi, the Hedge. How are you doing? How you all doing this evening? Morning, whatever. Oh, your 14 question? Well, I'll answer this, and then if you would like, if you have Cash App, because I'm only doing Cash App. If you have Cash App, I'm doing 2 cards for 2222. Soulmate Contracts. 222. Ravinder, hi, how are you? Yes, 2222. Twos, Soulmate Contracts. How you going, Kaba? How you going, Kaba? Am I saying that right, BC? I have them. I don't want to wear them. Well, if I put them on, then I can't see anyway, because I'm nearsighted and kind of farsighted. Pal, Koba, pal. That's cool. West Virginia. Where are you from, Ravender? I have contacts too, but I still got to put on glasses, so I still have the same problem. One choice from the option. Now that wouldn't be fair to anybody else. If I spend enough time around you, though, Max, I'll pick up your energy. Okay, guys, let's get into this and see if we can find out what they're not saying. Max, maybe your question's in here. No, Hanky. Nah. Okay. Two of Swords. So they're not saying that they're trying to make a decision about something. They're stuck. Blindfolded. They have to depend on their intuition. They have to go within. They can't see their way forward. They have to feel it intuitively, feel their way forward. They don't know which path to take. But with this card, you don't have to take either path. You have to uncross your heart, though, because he's got his heart crossed, or she. You have to uncross your heart. They don't have to take either path. They can turn around and see, there are rocks and stuff here. They can go to the other side and choose another path. They can choose their own path. They've been sitting for a while, Their ass might be hurting because they're sitting on a stone, But they've got to tap in intuitively. They've got to listen to themselves. They have to stop second guessing themselves. There's a decision they're trying to make. Oh, yeah, Max. Nah. Thank you, though. I just got out of a rocky relationship. Well, I'm just getting over one. And he got money too, but not for that. Got money and then run off with a family member. Anyway, Eight of Pentacles, there's something they're working on. They're not telling you there's something that they're working on or something they're wanting to work on. Because he's, hard at work here. He's building something. And it's Pentacles, so it's something that he or she wants that's stable and long-term, has longevity to it. I'm single and I'm staying that way until the right man comes along. But he's being careful while he's building it. He's paying close attention to what he's doing. And that may be some kind of decision they're making too about their stability. They may be also, they may be growing their stability. So maybe, their stability is unbalanced. So they got to make a decision about growing it. Max, you're persistent. What else? What are they not saying to the collective? What are they not saying to the collective? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that one took off. King of Wands. There you are, Max. King of Wands. Fiery, feisty, determined. They go after what they want. Persistent. He's sitting on his throne. He doesn't have no indecision on what he wants, and he's pretty sure he can get it. He's been through a lot in order to become a king. He or she's been through a lot. Like, they've gone through the Page and the Knight, which, the Page is a new beginning, fresh start, taking a risk. And then you've got your Knight. Your Knight's indecisive. So what they're telling you is they want to come to you as a king, determined, knowing what they want, having their stability, having their security, being stable. And this could be somebody you don't even know yet coming in. I mean, you don't know. But, the wand has growth on it. So whatever it is, it has the potential to grow. Betty Whitaker. No. No, Chris. I'm Laura. What else are they not saying? You got to come out. What else are they not saying? Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So, Queen of Pentacles in the upright knows their worth. They've got an offer and they're looking at it, looking at their worth. They're looking at the offer, trying to decide whether or not they want to give it. Anything they touch grows, turns to gold, but they're in the reverse. So they're not saying that they're not ready to make this offer. They're not sure that they're worthy of you, because she knows her worth. This one isn't quite sure. They're not quite sure. And it may not even be that they're not worthy of you. It may just be that they don't know if you would want them. You know what I mean? They're not sure. They're not sure if you would take that offer, because the offer's in the reverse. So what they're not saying is they're indecisive. They don't know. They're not sure if they bring this offer to you, if you're going to take it, you're going to accept it, or if you're going to reject them, you know, and it's got them in their head. But they are working on something. They're working on some kind of plan. See you later, Max. What else? What are they? Whoa. What are they not telling the collective? Throwing it all over the floor. Hold on 1 second, because they hit the floor, so now I don't know. Give me 1 second, guys. Call those from the pure white divine light only. Only those from the pure white divine light are allowed to answer me. Is this card supposed to be in the reverse? Yes. Okay. Is this card supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. Is this card supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. All right, guys. Again, you know, we've got the Nine of Pentacles here. And the Nine of Pentacles, you know, they know their value. They know their worth. They're getting ready to reap the harvest of the seeds that they planted, you know, in the upright. And, you know, for some people, it could be an inheritance coming in. They're pretty in tune with nature. That bird is sitting right on her hand. Not afraid at all. But in the reverse, they're not in tune with themselves. And they're again, you know, they don't know their worth. They don't know if you're going to accept this offer. And there may be something that they're waiting on to come in that hasn't come in yet, that they're really counting on. And they're not tapped in. They need to get grounded and get tapped in. The Eight of Wands, what they're not saying is they want to message you. They want to move forward fast. They want some kind of forward progress. Maybe they're coming in from a distance, or they're at a distance, because, you know, these wands are flying over top of this house. They could also be not telling you that they're getting ready to travel. They could be traveling toward you or wanting to. With fire and passion and rapid speed. But they're feeling like the wounded warrior. You know, they've been to battle. And, you know, there's some battles that they won. That, you know, that's what these wands back here can represent. The battles that they've won. But they don't know. They don't know if they're going to win this one. And they're wounded. You know, they're licking their wounds and, you know, healing and, you know, resting and recovering. But Divine is telling them to go on this journey. They got one of the wands in their hand. They're telling them to take a leap and go on this journey. And at the beginning, we talked about how they want to come at you as a king of wands. But I talked about the page and the knight. So this would be the page, you know, needing to take that risk, needing to go on that journey, needing to take that leap of faith. Follow their passions and their creativity and their desires. So they're not telling you that maybe they feel hurt by the situation, or someone else has hurt them, but they're in the planning stage right now and the recovery stage. What else? What else are they not telling the collective? Here we got another one. So please, is this supposed to be in the reverse? Is this supposed to be in the reverse? Yes. Okay. So, oh my goodness. So the Knight of Pentacles in the upright, they are so slow. Like, you gotta have patience with them, because you might get tired of waiting. And maybe this is where they've been. They've been coming in slow, really, really slow. And there's a seed in their hand that they need to plant. That same seed we saw in the reverse. They haven't planted it yet. But there's a seed they need to plant. And they need to nourish. And they need to cherish and water and feed, so that it can grow. And that could be what they're doing here. Growing something. Growing their stability. Growing their finances. Growing their courage to come forward. But this is the slowest Knight in the whole entire deck. I explain this Knight as they're really a king, which shows they want to be a king of wands. But they're really a king, but they're coming in as, your knight, your prince, and they don't realize that they forgot their crown, So they got to go back and get it. And on the way to you, like, they stopped off at the bar, they stopped off to go fishing, they stopped off, chat with a couple of friends or take a swim, or, just observe nature. And now they got to turn around and go back. So they're going to go through all that again. But in the reverse, that may mean that they're coming in quicker than you think, or they're wanting to come in quicker than you think, which would make sense with the Eight of Wands here. They're wanting rapid communication. They're wanting to travel toward you. They're wanting something to pick up speed. They may be getting impatient with themselves too. Make sure I got them in the upright. Yeah, the bottom of the deck says strength. They're trying to get the strength to do this. They're trying to tame that inner beast. Because this girl, she's sitting there with her hands on the lion's mouth, opening the lion's mouth. Or maybe she's closing the lion's mouth, because she's got her hand underneath and on top. So maybe she's closing the lion's mouth, taming the beast. But, she's so close to a lion. And I don't know about you, but I ain't going near a lion. But I understand the taming the inner beast. I've had to do that too. And this could be their thoughts. They're taming their inner thoughts, their negative thoughts about how it's not going to work out, or it might not work out. Or, like I said, you're going to reject them. So they're not sure. They would like to be a little bit more sure. And there's a repeating cycle here too, So they don't really want to repeat that cycle either. And they're gaining their strength. They're getting their strength up to move forward. What else? Another one came out in reverse. Yeah, they're not going on that journey yet. They're wanting to, but they're not. Because this person has been standing up here, stagnant, not moving, thinking that they've done everything in the world that could be done, There's nothing more for them to see. There's nothing more for them to do. But they have the whole world in their hands, and they're looking out at the world. And they need to realize that, they need to get off of this and go out on the journey. And there's your wand. They got that wand again. That wand keeps showing up. And before it even showed up, like I was explaining it with the King of Wands, there's that wand again, just one wand. So they haven't stepped out yet, but they know they need to go on that journey. But they are going to go on it. It's in the reverse. It's in the reverse. They may not realize they got the whole world in their hands. They can create whatever it is that they want to create. They got to set their mind to it. It's a mindset. It's a perception. They got to change their perception. Because what you think about and what you say to yourself, you create. So they've got to change their perception. What else are they not saying to the collective? What else are they not saying to the collective? What else are they not saying to the collective? Thank you. Wow, a lot came out. We're going to do the bottom. Okay, I felt this. I felt this with the Nine of Wands. We have the Ten of Wands. So there's some burdens they got to lay down. And from this, you're going to lay down the burdens that you no longer need. And pick up only those that you need. Maybe they're carrying burdens for somebody else. You know what I mean? Other people's problems and things, other people's thoughts and opinions, possibly. Doing things that they don't need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? They're freeing themselves. They need to free themselves. That's what they haven't told you. There's some burdens they need to free themselves from. And that may be what they're working on, freeing themselves from some sort of burden. And they got a little ways to go yet, because they're not quite at this house yet. They're still climbing up that mountain. They've got over the worst of it. They've got up over most of the obstacles, but they still have, a couple in the way before they can lay these burdens down and they can move forward toward you. And then you have the Nine of Cups. So they're learning how to love themselves. They're learning that nothing outside of them completes them. Not a relationship, not a career, not a job, not friends, not anything. They're already whole and complete. They're learning that they want something that's going to complement them, something that's going to inspire them, someone that's going to inspire them and raise them up rather than put them down or make them feel unworthy, because it's come out several times that some part of them don't feel like maybe they don't deserve you, or you're going to reject them, or in some way, that comes from a trauma wound, that comes from someone or something or several someones or something making them feel like they weren't good enough. They're not feeling good enough. So what they're working on this, realizing that they are good enough, realizing they've always been good enough. And once you get to the Nine of Cups, you're no longer looking for your Ten of Cups, because you feel whole and complete in yourself, which you are when you come here. But society and family and friends and partnerships, relationships start making you feel like you're not worthy. So they're working on their Nine of Cups. They're working on learning their worth and their value. Then we got the Six of Pentacles. So they're wanting equal give and take, equal balance, justice, fairness. In this card, he's given to one person, and this other person is begging, but he's not giving to them. He's not even looking at them or acknowledging them. So there may be a situation they're in where there's not equal give and take, equal fairness, balance, reciprocation. We have the Six of Swords. So yeah, there's something. They're wanting to leave these choppy, chaotic waters. They're wanting to leave all this chaos and drama and conflict and all of this, being conflicted in their hearts too, opening their heart. You know, they're wanting to move out of that and move into calmer waters. They're realizing that, you know, they only need to take so many swords there. They at one time they felt like they had 10 swords on their back, you know, and they stood up and those swords came out, but they're still carrying 6 of them with them. And this is supposed to be the lessons, you know, like not the anger, not the sadness, not the resentment, none of that, not the guilt. This is the lessons about their worth. So they're moving out of this, and they're wanting to move into calmer waters, and they're wanting to go to Paradise Island, and they're being guided. You know, they got a guide on this boat, so this boat is guiding them. And while they're on this, they're resting. They're resting. They're trusting that, you know, they're being guided in the right direction. And then you have Temperance. So they're wanting to tell you that they're waiting on the signal from God, divine source, the angels, whatever they believe in. And this angel is mixing 2 cups together. This could be fire and water. And, you know, it's very hard to mix fire and water together without one overpowering the other. Too much fire and it starts boiling, you know, and it'll boil away to steam. And too much water and it'll put the fire out. So the angels are trying to mix this up, move the obstacles, mix this up for them. And they're having to be patient. And they're wanting you to be patient. They're wanting you to be patient with them. And what is the underline? 8 of Cups. So they're walking away from something. And it's something that meant something to them at one time. It was very important to them at one time, because these cups aren't just thrown down. They're stacked neatly. And this could be their own thoughts they're walking away from, their old way of thinking, their old patterns, their old cycles, their old habits. And they're walking toward that 9 of Cups that they showed you. They're walking away from the 8, wanting to walk away from the 8 and go into the 9. So there's something they feel like they're missing. There's something they feel lacking. So they're wanting to walk away and find their 9th cup and figure out what that is that they're lacking and they're missing. Max Till 24, hi. I'm glad you're back. You'll have to go back and watch what you missed. And they're being guided. They're being guided by the moon. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. They got to tap into their intuition so they, you know, they can feel their way or where they're going. And possibly, you know, tap into their heart a little bit, because their heart's blocked here. It's blocked. They got to unblock it. So they got to tap into their heart and their gut and their intuition and trust source and divine and trust where they're being led. But the bottom is the 8, and you see in the spread that we go to the 9. So this is where they're starting. This is where they're wanting to be, the 9 of Cups, knowing that they're complete and whole. They want something or someone that completes them, not completes them. They might think right at this point that it completes them, but they're wanting something that complements them. So do you guys want the do you want the arc animals tonight, or you want to talk, or what do you want to do? I'm gonna have to look and see who Betty Whitaker is, because I have no idea who that is, if it even shows up. Max Till, do you want to talk, or you want to do the arc animals, or what do you want to do? Anybody else? What do you guys want to do? I can read from the book and do the arc animals, or we can just sit and talk, or we could stop it right here. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm already at 36 minutes. Almost 37. Anybody that's here that resonates with? This could be vice versa too. This could be how you guys are feeling too, and what you guys are working on. Take it as it fits, if it resonates. But if you're in my collective, you've been through a lot. Are you there? Hello to anyone who's there and, isn't on here talking. Or is there anything you want clarified? I could do that too. Okay, well, no one's saying anything. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit to decide. If nobody says anything, I'm gonna go to the animal oracle deck, the arc animal deck. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to the arc animal. going to figure out what arc animal either you or them are dealing with. Which one wants to speak? I have other ones in here I haven't opened yet. It's a lot. That's a lot for me to shuffle. And then you've got these. And all of these. So I have not opened all of them yet. Clear old energy, bring new energy in, please. What arc animal is the collective dealing with or their person dealing with? What arc animal? Or an arc animal that the collective, needs to work with? What arc animal wants to speak? What arc animal wants to speak? Oh, we have two. Okay, we have the emu, curiosity, strategy, and endurance. Well, strategy came out in the reading because they were planning something. They were working on something. Curiosity, they may be curious about what you're doing, possibly. Hello, Ren. Ballin Bay. Greetings. I'm from West Virginia. You'll have to go back and watch the reading. We're doing the Arc Animal Oracle now, if you want to stay for that. And endurance. There's something you're having to endure. And that also came out. There's some burdens they need to lay down. So all of those came out. There's your emu. I'm going to read from the book here in a minute. Ohio. That's cool. I lived close to there at one time. Up around Glendale. You have the oyster, concepts, beauty, and resilience. So they see your beauty or you're gorgeous or you're beautiful, man or woman. You have the oyster. There's a pearl in that oyster. So okay. So we have the emu. See if this book is right today. Sometimes it hits right on it, and sometimes I gotta look for it. $274 and $275, and sometimes I gotta go a page ahead. Nope, that's the donkey. Page ahead. Okay, emu. It says, the emu is the second largest bird in the world who can survive a variety of climate changes thanks to being highly adaptable. While the emu doesn't fly, the creature is hefty and uses that as an advantage when frightening off predators. Emu shows us how to use our weight wisely while remaining a friendly sort with a mischievous intellect. The emu investigates anything that's bright, colorful, and shiny. Well, that pearl's shiny, so the emu figures heavily into the dreaming of Australian Aborigines. The ancient tribes named the constellation after Emu and used it to monitor time's never-ending passage. Particularly seasons, Emu nestled between the spaces in the Southern Cross, protecting the night sky, defending it from all nefarious plans. This constellation represents a celestial bridge between earthly realms and the cosmos, with Emu as our tour guide along the way. Perhaps this is why the Aborigines use emu track patterns in talismans for magical protection. In family life, the male emu embraces and exemplifies a highly devoted father. It is the male who incubates eggs, sitting on them for 8 weeks, rarely eating. After that, the chicks follow the father for a year. Single fathers can benefit from emu medicine, particularly when they're struggling with going the extra mile. Emu is a fast bird able to sprint up to 31 miles per hour. While not as fast as the wildcat, emu has a clever strategy up its wing, literally. If a cat runs at full speed and catches up to an emu, the bird raises one wing upward and lowers the other, like the magician's pose. This turns the emu 180 degrees around in a different direction, still running. But continuing this catch me if you can, the wildcat just gives up eventually, making emu not only a skilled navigator, but also a symbol of swift movement and endurance. As a spirit animal, when emu appears as your spirit animal, it's time to use your personal power wisely. A totem animal, emu as a totem animal belongs to the creative problem solvers of our world. And you've seen in the reading that they are trying to solve a problem. As a power animal, invoke emu as your power animal when you need help navigating through turbulent waters. Okay. And then we have the oyster. Excuse me. .306 and 307. Nope. 308. Okay. Oyster. To look at an oyster, one would never imagine beauty lies within. The oyster is secretive about its treasure and does not give up that pearl easily. This is an excellent metaphor for parts of human nature, specifically our subconscious, emotions, or our spirituality. Many times our pearls are hidden within a hard shell. Breaking through takes a concerted effort, patience, and time. Oyster asks, what do you need to go within and begin the process of transformation? Consider the oyster is a pacifist and a Zen master of sorts. It stays put for vast majority of life, doing nothing violent toward others in its environment. While some neighboring creatures seem tossed and stressed by a turbulent sea, the oyster remains calm and centered. It knows its place in space and embraces it wholly, understanding that changeable tides in the world will always be there. Here, the oyster uses its natural protective shell for enduring harsh influences that might otherwise prove harmful. Oyster represents triumph over irritation, setbacks, and roadblocks. We've seen the roadblocks in the Ten of Wands, where he had obstacles and roadblocks in his way going up the mountain with all those burdens. When the oyster encounters sand, it figuratively itches. It causes the oyster's secretions, turning into annoyance into something beautiful, a gem of wisdom. This transformation is alchemical and precious. You can turn a bad situation into something likewise sublime. Focus on the opportunity, not the prickling. In the matters of the heart, oyster symbolizes passion, being a trusted aphrodisiac known by the ancients dating back to Greece and Rome. Some think the oyster was a gift from Aphrodite, the goddess of love, specifically to help ignite our inner fires. Celtic tradition associates oyster with the sea goddess. It also has a strong connection with the moon and lunar energy. Overall, oyster medicine inspires strength and appreciation for potential, peace, hidden knowledge, and romance. Yes, yes. Spirit animal. When oyster opens as your spirit animal, it's time to realize you are a true rare beauty. I told you there was beauty in it. Totem animal. Oyster as a totem animal belongs to those who never judge a book by its cover. And power animal. Invoke oyster as your power animal when you need to reignite your passions in life. And I use passions and stuff to transmute all the negative energies and things that I'm going through and been through. So I hope that makes sense for you all. It's like a lot of people threw away a diamond and didn't even realize it. You know, I was formed under pressure. Pretty sure that a lot of you were too. You know what I'm saying? Huh, that's crazy. That was on the page before the oyster. It says conflict, puzzle solving, and solar energy. Flameborn, the rising phoenix. I don't know about you, but I like the Harry Potter, the rising phoenix. So I don't know who all was here for the whole reading, who came in at the end, but they have a lot that they, they're not saying. They're putting down burdens, working on burdens. They're working on finances. It looks like their stability. They're working on making a decision, opening their heart, and realizing that they've always been whole and complete. Nothing completes them. It complements them. Hi, Max. I see you're back. No, I don't. Yeah, Starseed and Earth Angels. I believe I'm like a starseed, but I also, every time I ask the question, like, because I've second guessed myself a lot, Ren, and I've second guessed myself a lot. So I've asked the question like several times, like, who am I? And I keep getting pointed to the chosen one, or a chosen one. Like I was asking the question one day. I was watching this reader. She was doing something about um when she was sleeping, she seen like an alien in her dream. And then she pulled these cards out and shuffled these cards, and it came this there was this green alien looking card that popped out, and she said it looked a lot like what was in the dream. So she was asking what messages and stuff that it had for us, and breath work was one of them that came out, and that had been coming out a lot around me was breath work. I was hearing a lot about breath work. And then I, after I asked the question, I was like, no, never mind, I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to know. And after the breath work came out, chosen one came out. That movie, The Chosen, came up. And I was like, okay. I'm just gonna stop doubting it. Max. I don't put a price on me. And you had to tell that. I had to tell somebody else that when I was younger and I was walking home from karate class and he kept meeting me every block and raising the price. I don't. I don't know what is on your mind, Max, but the answer that I got in my head was no. Okay, guys. Well, if nobody, has anything else to say, I'm going to get off of here. Carrie Goff. Hi. Nice to meet you. You'll have to go back and watch the reading. It was a pretty good reading, but they got a lot going on right now. Yes. Yes. I can tell you, Ren, in this journey that I've been going on, I learned a lot about who I am, opposed to who I was told I was since I was a kid. And I learned out and speak because I was always hidden in the corner, like, some dirty little secret. I was the black sheep of the family. I still am the black sheep of the family, but I don't care. I'm different. I'm different than all of them. And when I was younger, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be different. But yet, in school, I tried to fit in, and I have no idea why. Like, I didn't embrace who I am. I actually didn't start embracing who I was until I watched a video on Aquarius personalities. People's always tried to keep me quiet, but that's not what God wants. God divine wants me to speak. I hope that you guys, like, share and subscribe. Help me get this out there. I took a break off for a while. I went through some really, really hard things, and had to get myself regrounded and pull myself back up by my bootstraps. Yes, I embrace my uniqueness now, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. I've been told I was naive and delusional and gullible, and I mean, and for a while there, like it triggered me. You know what I mean? But then when I realized they were just projecting onto me, it took a while, but I finally started realizing my worth. And I think what finally did it is the guy that I was kind of dating. I had gotten, money from my dad being killed, and I had spent it on him, and spent it on us, and spent it, on stuff for him at my house too. And then basically when the money was gone, he took off with a family member. So that really did a number to me, and I had to come back from that. I had a lot of unrequited love too, but that's because I didn't love me. I didn't know my worth. I didn't love me. I thought I did, but I didn't. Healthy boundaries. If you love yourself, you're going to put up healthy boundaries, and you're going to stick. And I knew, I already seen it coming. Like I'd already said something to him about it. And um I'm an Aquarius, so I've thought of everything from every angle that there is to think of, and I've tried everything possible there is to try. But I got that feeling, and he used charm to try to get me not to believe it. And in the end, I actually set them both up, and they fell right into the trap because she had already taken somebody else that I had been with, and I had given her a second chance because I believe everybody deserves second chances. You know what I mean? And I needed to see if I could trust her, and I needed to see if I could trust him because I was feeling something was off. Yes, and that was my problem, Ren. I was an overgiver. That was my problem. And I tried to, I don't know. I guess, they have free will. And I guess there's been several times in my life where I felt like, maybe I could heal them or whatever. And they pretty much about drowned me. It was like saving someone in a river that, was fighting against you the whole entire time. And by the time I came out of it, like I was purely exhausted. I had no energy. I was so depleted. At one point in time, I literally felt like my soul was dying. It was a lot to come back from. But see, most people in my life have underestimated me. And I've even told them about other people underestimating me, but they still underestimate me. I always stand back up. Oh, well, Mariah, that sounds like you have a problem. Oh yes, I've had a lot, a lot of karmic contracts, a lot, and I've came back from everyone. Um, I don't know if you watched yesterday's. We talked a lot yesterday. Me and the collective talked a lot yesterday. But my twin's father stabbed me in between my heart and lungs while I was driving the car with a pocket knife that I bought him for his birthday. And I never thought I'd ever jump out of a perfectly good moving vehicle, but I did. I didn't even hit the brake. I just jumped. But I'm very protected. It came out in tongues when we were little kids that we were protected. And trust me, there's a lot that's happened to this family that car accidents and everything that proves that we are very protected. My daughters both wrecked their cars. My one daughter wrecked three cars, And luckily, all three of them were on the opposite side of the river. And then my other daughter, she wrecked one, and it was on the opposite side of the river. So we're definitely protected. Yes. And I realized that the shadow work was my own traumas, for that, because I went through a lot when I was a kid, a lot. I actually had a counselor. I think I was in fifth. Yeah, I was in fifth grade. I actually had a counselor who told me that I should write a book, and that was in fifth grade. But I wouldn't do it because I didn't want to hurt my mom. Mom's gone now, and I've thought about it, several times, but something's got to trigger the memories to bring them back sometimes. Or like if we go through a Mercury retrograde, a lot of old memories will pop up. The eclipse is bringing a lot of memories up. But I don't think I could do it just from childhood up. I don't know, maybe. I've thought about it. Now, I am an automatic writer, though. I had to learn to tame that part of me because if I felt like I was being done wrong, I'd write them a book, and it just flows. Like it just comes out as I think it just comes out. I actually I've been homeless twice, and actually I still am. My stepdad's offering for me to come here, and I'm thinking about it, but I have some other things that possible. But anyway, it's been crazy, but I haven't let it get me down. Like I don't know, I embraced it. Like me and my cat, we went up to the river and hung out at the river, and um, I sit and did readings at the bench. We watched the deer walk by us, and but he always provides for me. Like I always have, no matter what. I can give my last dollar 2 weeks before I have any money coming in, and be out of food, because I give it away, and I still have it. He provides for me. But I have faith. I have a lot of people who tried to shake that, but they never did that. And not him, but my other stepfathers when I was younger, tried to break my spirit. They never broke my spirit. They broke my confidence, but they never broke my spirit. I still had that loving heart. I still have that loving heart. I love all people. But if you guys are on here, you guys have been through a lot too. I know that you are, because if you're connecting with me and you've hit that vibration, you've been through a lot. So I commend you on that. You're still standing. Hi, Ashley. How are you? We're just sitting here kind of chatting right now. Bennett. I knew some Bennetts. Where are you from, Ashley? I actually know some Bennetts. I'm doing good. Getting back out here. I miss being out here. Somerset. I've heard of that. I might have known somebody that way. I'm from West Virginia. Taunton. I haven't heard of Taunton. I've heard of Somerset. How are you doing? It's nice to meet you. I hope that you guys like and subscribe, share, comment, talk to me. I spend a lot of time on my own. I'm an Aquarius, so I spend a lot of time in hermit mode. But I've been getting out and seeing family. I stopped off, my childhood place where I grew up, where a lot of the wounds and stuff started, a lot of the trauma started, and had a talk with my younger self, let her know how strong she was and that she was going to walk most of this journey solo, but she had it. She had the strength. She's got this. I got this. Thank you. Yeah, arthritis. It's copper. Got the magnets inside. I love bracelets. And this one was gifted to me by a friend. How are you doing, Ashley? You're standing strong? Oh, I bet they're beautiful. That sounds beautiful. Oh, you're welcome. Do you have them on a channel? Do you have your own channel, Ashley? Are you still there? Ashley, are you still there? Do you have a channel? I don't know if you guys are losing service and coming back, or because it's jumping from 0 to 1 to 2. So I don't know if you guys are still there or you're not. If you're there, let me know. Ashley, are you there? If you're there and you subscribe to me, I'll go check out your channel if you have your bracelets on it. If you have a channel. Okay, well, guys, I'm not hearing anything from you all. It's bouncing from 0 to 1 to 2. So I guess I'll talk to y'all later. It's been nice sitting and chatting with you guys. I really liked it. But I'll talk to y'all later. If you want to watch the reading, start, it's at the beginning. But anyway, I love you all. Be kind to yourselves. Be easy on yourselves. Don't beat yourselves up. Love you. Later.